Sydney Sweeney, once again, is a big subject in the news cycle, and that's because she had a movie that just came out that's not doing too well at the box office, but also because she did a recent interview where the interviewer essentially said, "Your American Eagle ad was racist. You apologize for that." Now, clearly the ad wasn't racist. It was just a funny play on words, but there's some people who take it to mean that. So Sydney Sweeney didn't apologize for something that she didn't do, which has rubbed a lot of people within the entertainment industry the wrong way because they tend to take far left political positions. In the ad that Sydney Sweeney did, as well as a lot of her other rhetoric off screen, has led some people to believe that she is more right leaning, which has caused some division within Hollywood, with many other actors actually basically bashing her publicly. One of those people, according to some of these rumors, is Zendaya, her Euphoria co-star, which according to these rumors, they used to be good friends because they've worked for years on that show. And now Zendaya wants to cut off Sydney Sweeney entirely. But before you really look at this story, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you can, leave a comment, tell me what you think about it, and also hit the like button too, because it helps out with the channel. Euphoria Season 3 fans furious at Sydney Sweeney's MAGA ties as Zendaya allegedly refuses to promote with her. Imagine how Christy Martin feels. Okay, and one of the things I just want to emphasize is these are just rumors. We haven't heard any confirmation one way or the other. Now, I know there's some promotional stuff going around for Euphoria Season 3, and I obviously am not the demographic for that show, so I haven't really kept up to date on watching all the interviews and things like that. But supposedly Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney haven't actually had any joint interviews or actually been seen together at any of these events and other stuff like that. So that's led a lot of people to believe that, like, well, maybe there's something going on between them. And the target demographic for Euphoria tends to be more left on the political spectrum. So obviously these are people who are upset with Sydney Sweeney. So they're trying to basically, I don't know, I think they're trying to see something that's not necessarily there. Once seen as inseparable on red carpets and social media, Sydney Sweeney and Zendaya were celebrated for their friendship and camaraderie, but recent reports suggest that the relationship between the Euphoria co-stars may have cooled with political differences at the center of speculation. Yeah, and again, this is all just speculation at this time because as far as I know, we don't even know Sydney Sweeney's political affiliation. She really hasn't been as vocal about it as what some people claim. People did like dig into her and found that like she was registered as a Republican, but that's not information that she volunteered. She basically just kind of does her thing. Yeah, she kind of plays into a certain type publicly, but that's more of a calculated move on her part in order to try to stay within the news cycle. But she really hasn't said anything deliberately that was very controversial. Like I said at the start of the video, the most controversial things that she's done was probably that American Eagle ad campaign. And even then, the worst parts about that is basically what some people were basically just inferring from that. It was more or less kind of like a Rorschach test. Like if you see racism in this ad, then that's completely on you because the majority of like sensible people didn't see anything racist in it whatsoever. Sweeney's recent film, including Christy, biographic sports drama about boxing champion Christy Martin, may have failed to make a major commercial impact despite strong cast and positive narratives. Early this year, Americana, a neo-Western thriller, also struggled at the box office, highlighting the challenges the rising star faces amid increasing scrutiny. Yeah, obviously that's not a good thing if her movies aren't doing too well at the box office, and some people are saying it's because people, like the majority of them, public hates her and that's why her movies aren't doing too good. And then they're also saying that they hate her because of her political views. But if you look at it, I mean, she's just doing kind of like small indie movies, and generally speaking, those don't usually do too well. The only reason they're actually getting as much publicity as they are is because they have someone as big as Sydney Sweeney actually starring in them or appearing in them. If she was to appear in more big budget movies, some of the more mainstream ones that someone like, let's say, Zendaya actually comes in, then she'd probably fare at least a little bit better, unless it's Madam Web, of course, because that one was another dumpster fire. The reported tension is reportedly fueled by differing political stances. Sweeney, an outspoken supporter of President Donald Trump. That's actually false. At least as far as I know, she hasn't said anything in support of Donald Trump, other than that she thought it was cool that the president endorsed her American Eagle ad. And literally, if you look at the statement that Donald Trump made, it was after people dug into Sydney Sweeney and saw that she was registered as a Republican. Someone asked, a reporter asked Donald Trump just kind of like off the cuff, like, oh, what did you think about her ad campaign from American Eagle? It turned out she was registered as a Republican. And he goes, oh, she's a Republican? Then I love the ad. It's the best ad ever. And then Sydney Sweeney was asked about that. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's like cool that the president liked my ad. And that's pretty much it, as far as I know. Let me know in the comments if she said any more outspoken things pro Donald Trump specifically, and not just something that people inferred, if she's been actually as vocal as what this article is implying. She identifies as a Republican. Again, she was identified as a Republican. It's not that she identifies as one. While Zendaya has long opposed Trump and encouraged voter activism against him, these differences appear to have affected their professional collaboration, particularly regarding promotional events. And then just saying how she keeps her distance, and then talking about the American Eagle ad campaign. And I think a lot of this is just people trying to find something they're just trying to see something that isn't there, because there's a lot of these people out there. And I think a lot of the people pushing this idea that they're having a problem between the two of them without any evidence whatsoever is simply because these are people who will be willing to cut off others that they're close to because of political disagreements. And the majority of the public, pretty much most people, don't actually care about it that much, or at least they care about it, but they're not willing to sever like established relationships or strong relationships as a result of this sort of thing. So I think a lot of people are basically just taking that position where they're saying like, well, I would cut off people if they disagree with me politically. So clearly Zendaya must be doing that with Sydney Sweeney because that's why they haven't been seen together. Or maybe it's because they're both just very busy and they don't really like their way their schedules line up. They can't really do those joint promotional events or something like that. Or maybe they're just kind of spreading them out during the press junket and other things like that in the lead up to the release of the show, because, you know, it's better to have a big star or a big star like separated at their various events as opposed to just kind of lumping them all together, especially when it's kind of difficult with their schedules and things like that. Because one thing you can also look at when it comes to the cast of Euphoria is Hunter Schafer, obviously someone who is more left than the political spectrum, especially since Hunter Schafer is a trans person. So you would think if Sydney Sweeney was supposedly staunchly conservative and Hunter Schafer being a trans person is more liberal, that they would have some issues together. But I mean, if you look at this article, it was published just in August, so not too long ago, when people already had their opinions on Sydney Sweeney or when they were starting to come out. They were seen together and they were fine. Here's this brief video of what's going on. They were just basically at a karaoke bar having fun together because, you know, that's just what normal people do. They don't let politics get in the way of everything, or they might have like their public persona where their political affiliations and beliefs might define them to a point. But when you really get down to it, they're still just normal people, and normal people don't let that be their entire personality, at least not sensible people. For most people, it's just a small part of like a belief system of theirs, and that's about it. So does this mean that Zendaya and Sydney Sweeney aren't actually having an issue with each other? It's like, I'm not necessarily saying that because I don't know them or anything like that. And I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that they do. Neither of them has made any statements one way or the other. So right now, as much as you can probably get from this, you can probably just say it's just a rumor until we find some more information. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to hit the like button and share the video out there because it helps out with the channel. Thank you.